going to be a different kind of video probably. We're going in blind. YouTube recommended days taking me on a journey here, chat. This is called Appalachia's Disappearing Hillbillies by Roca News, a news source or some sort of news source. I'm not quite sure. For those who don't know, who might be our friends from Europe or across the world, a hillbilly is think of the most country bumpkin, lives in the middle of nowhere, isolated from society, plucking away at the banjo, drinking homemade moonshine, blacking out in the middle of the afternoon, that kind of person. Yes, me. Yeah. They're typically very, very, my family has some hillbillies in it, by the way, in case you're curious. They're typically very, very, very impoverished. They don't have very good education, access to healthcare. Yeah, the flag. So, like I was saying, they don't have very good education. As you can see by the flag, they're not very learned. They're not very intelligent folk. It's not their fault because there are some times where you are born in a position where it's almost impossible to get out of. That being said, you will see some very challenging things, I suspect, because hillbillies they're not bad people, but a lot of them literally don't know any better. And it's a different world. Like, really think of somebody who lives in the middle of nowhere their entire lives. And and there is not efforts to made, so they're mostly stuck in a sense. They are stuck in a sense. Yes, they will live and die in this one little area in the rural Appalachia.
Hillbillies, inbreds, drugs, poverty.
Sounds like a party, dude. Okay, hell yeah. Sure, okay. Yeah, hell yeah, dude. This is like a great block party. Hell yeah.
Appalachia is the media's favorite punching bag.
Yes.
But is any of that real? To find out, we went deep into the mountains of Georgia.
You can't run us out. You can't stomp us out.
Okay.
Our destination was Rabun County, where Deliverance, the movie that made Appalachia the villain, was shot.
This is true. It's very, 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 in America, very easy to point at the like very misfortuned who are incredibly stupid and be like, ew, that's weird. And Deliverance did not, I make you squeal like a pig, did not help the Appalachian folk.
Deliverance's story of Appalachian inbreds terrorizing a group of city folk has shaped America's perception of the region for decades.
Correct.
We wanted to know what was truth.
I worry there might be some things happening.
And what was fiction.
Sure.
A lot of the locals do not like the movie just because of the way it portrayed us.
That's fair. Super fair.
The trip started in Atlanta. Progressive, modern, urban,
yep.
but just a couple of hours north.
Atlanta is lovely, by the way. Atlanta's a lovely city. Very, very beautiful, very warm. The food's bussin'. I want to actually go. I am trying to see if I can go to FWA this year. Look at me, poor, uneducated. They are perceived to not fund their education economy. Yep! Hell yeah!
Things look
see
completely
you,
different. The city, gone.
True, Beanie.
Replaced by the country and the hills. We were headed as deep into the mountains as we could go. On the way there, though, we stopped to talk to people about the area.
Are hillbillies still a thing?
My neighbors would consider hillbillies, I guess, because they backwoods country and ain't got no sense.
Love that accent so goddamn much.
The first thing we learned was that this was a deeply conservative region.
Oh, again, poorly educated. I'm not even kidding. Like, and this is not a slight at conservatives as a whole. I'm saying that, and this applies to both far left and far right politics. Really quick dip into politics, chat. Both extremes exist because of uneducation, and because of a constant. Both extremes exist because they find themselves in what's the word I'm looking for? Like a echo chamber, and that's how you get extremism. When the farther you are detached from society, like these folks, is the farther you find yourself in an echo chamber of these political ideals, right? Which is probably why you're going to see a Confederate flag. I am willing to bet you, and I'm not even kidding, there are people that are hillbillies, or just people in general, who look at the Confederate flag and say, this is heritage, because they genuinely do not know the history of the Confederacy. That I am prepared to make that argument, because that is how these things go down. when you stop talking to the other sides, when you stop trying to make compromise. Exactly. And again, I think you can be left-leaning and right-leaning in your politics. You can be a centrist. You can be whatever. But I think when you go into extremes is where you find, on either side, where you find that you become an insufferable person.
Somebody starts talking about this transgender junk and killing babies and all this kind of stuff.
Echo chamber. That's all it is. This guy literally has no idea what he's doing.
There ain't no way I'd vote for him.
The people here are quick to remind you, Appalachia isn't just the country.
Sure.
It's something else entirely. A different culture, a different pace, a different history.
This is true. Now, this is true. Whether or not there are genuinely the Appalachia Mountains, there are not a lot of spots in the U.S. that are rich in culture. Usually, the farther south you go, you'll get a little bit of culture. The Appalachians does have a rich culture, and rich in a different way. But a lot of like European settled America is not very rich in culture. I'm sorry, you're not. I've been at the edge of both extremes. That's just really the same thing. Yeah, more or less. Hi, how are you? I have a question on topic. Sorry, how many most slots you have open? 0 right now, but I can always make room.
Yet, like the country, Appalachia loves Donald Trump, its Bibles, and its barbecue.
Again, it's you will see this in America. The farther you get away from cities is the more likely you are to fall to an extreme. And in this case, the Bible Belt's a real thing. And you will see a lot of far-right people in these circles, right? Why do you get people pop up more subs for more most slots? No, yeah, right. Hey, they follow.
Our destination was in the mountains, but we stopped on the way to hear stories like Christians. A Marine Corps veteran turned beekeeper who waved us down on the roadside to ask if we needed help.
Oh.
That's Appalachia.
Yes.
A place where strangers don't stay strangers for long.
That is true. I have experience with that. That's fair.
Where are you from? My grandma literally lived like right where that light pole is. If you turn right there. So what's the deal around here? What's it like?
I mean, crap. There's not a whole lot to do unless you're into nature. The difference between like hillbillies and rednecks. Sure. Redneck is gonna be like your dipper, probably a loud gay truck. The real hillbilly, like a real bad one. I mean, those are the rebel flag, racist.
Yeah, racist. Yeah.
Usually, they'll fight tooth and nail to say that's not what that flag means.
Told you. He's right though. He's right though. Bullshit, thank you. A lot of hillbillies are very much stuck in their ways in this regard. Rednecks are your country boys, your country folk who, just work on a farm, get drunk on the weekends with some PBR. That's a rednecks are typically pretty chill people. You'll find rednecks on both sides of the spectrum, right? Left leaning, right leaning. Rednecks are just like your average blue collar, trying to get by, living their life. Tractors, guns, rock and roll. Hillbillies start getting a little extreme. Yeah, I love rednecks. Hillbillies, we have some history of them and I.
Still see that around?
Dude, they have a store next to Walmart. It's literally a rebel store.
Yeesh!
You might want to go.
Yeah, we'll have to check that out.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it's called the Rebel Shop. Damn! It's just called that, huh? That's crazy!
My aunt on my mom's side lives deep in Appalachia, like deep in the woods in the mountains. Her nearest neighbor. She doesn't even have internet in her house.
That's true.
She raises her own animals and shit.
Fair.
She doesn't like people.
Fair.
Makes good cookies.
I think if you wanted to be away from people, Appalachia Mountains is a great spot for that. If you ever want to unplug from the internet in the world and just live until you die, I got great news for you. Yeah. Hey, a bar I can't go to. Oh, you soggy. You should never. I'm gonna be real with you, big dog. Grabs you. Never, ever go to the deep Appalachia country. I beg you. Any of you in this chat, anyone who's remotely queer, remotely, even just you dress city folk. Not to mention different color of skin. You're cooked. Uh-oh. I'm sleep rotated and I thought it'd be a stream feels. No, you're okay. Do your thing, big dog. Sorry, I don't think Candy can make it tonight. They're not feeling 100%.
You'll be like, oh. I mean, there's gonna be, they're still fighting the good fight. they think the South will rise again or something, dude. I don't know.
Forget the Confederacy.
Sure.
Tradition is alive here in many ways. Many towns have markets like this where people from
Yep.
the mountains come to trade stories, sell what they've made, and share a little of what they know.
This is true. Oh my God. This
This and other traditions remain more intact in Appalachia than just about anywhere else.
Oh. Oh, that's funny as shit. God damn. Ew, I need you guys to understand something. If this is shocking you, this means you are not used to this side of the world. And I, as someone whose family is literally this is cringe on a different level for me. But some of you may have never heard these people exist, and they do. And I class as a wears a shirt and I just something like that. That's crazy. That person's insane. But yeah, these people exist
in the country.
I was raised in the Tennessee mountains.
Yep.
And when I moved up here, my wife's parents, they lived up here.
Where you were raised, were there paved roads, electricity?
No, I thought we were rich because we had a 2-seater outhouse. Past Atlanta, then you're in.
Lifetime. Is this Vietnam, Ben? Yeah, this is lot of Vietnam vets, which is this is something interesting thing about Vietnam vets. Vietnam vets, in my experience, 90% of them are like, we shouldn't have been there. 10% miss being there. And those are the ones that are extreme. Literally, and we're in a side close to the city, you get this. Yes, the farther you get from the city, the more likely you are to get this. The fact that people think that Trump is going to come out rural shit and make them better have somehow. Yeah, that's, again, poor education. It really is.
You're in the South. But up here, no.
How's that different?
The people, their attitudes and stuff, and you can tell by the way they actually act. Like you get down into Atlanta, everybody thinks their shit don't stink, you know. And me, I don't care. I've had people in Atlanta try to hijack me on my other truck, and I carry a 45 right on my damn seat. One black guy came up and said, "Get out of the truck, we're taking it." And I just took my pistol, stuck it up the window. I said, "Well, which one of you down? There's one to die first."
Yep. Unfortunately, yep. Unfortunately. In case you
Fun
guys...
story.
Okay.
My aunt apparently makes such good pickled eggs that 70-something-year-old ladies got into a fist fight over the last jar of them she was selling at a flea market.
Jesus. I don't know if Vietnam was realize I love being there. I want to go back for some really disturbing and valid reasons. Yep. I'm telling you, it's a 90-10 split. And chat, this is, I mean, yeah, tell me, Dad.
Because I'll leave your ass laying in the road, driver. I'll go home, smash the barrel on the gun, put a brand new barrel in, and they can't tie me to shit.
This is literally a real thing also, is Appalachia folks are very capable of just replacing and repairing their guns. So yeah, he's right. You couldn't tie him to a murder. Like, this guy is, it's a different way of life.
Right now?
If you're still watching and don't trust corporate media to share the reality of the country,
sure,
hit that subscribe button.
I mean, Roka, this is true. This is a... If you guys ever wonder who buys these shirts, we found him. This is the guy. We found the guy who buys these shirts.
We've got a lot more videos coming from the forgotten corners of America and the world, beginning with Appalachia and then the Rust Belt. There may be no scene more associated with Appalachia
the banjo
than this.
scene. Yep.
Billy was 15 when he played the banjo boy, but when Hollywood left, Billy stayed.
Oh, he's actually, did he live there? So there's characters go a chopper barrel and try to fly a car for the longest time, made him take out for the sun. Oh my God.
And when Deliverance was nominated for Best Picture, Billy ended up spending years working at a Walmart, unable to afford his medical bills.
That tracks. Now Deliverance is, they're going to the city, where the town that Deliverance was based off of. That's why we are doing the deliverance thing.
He still lives nearby, and his relatives run this diner.
Billy's story was Billy didn't get any money from it, or got very little money.
He got very little money.
Yeah, that tracks.
I mean, they portrayed us pretty badly in the movie. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. A lot of the locals do not like the movie just because.
That's fair. I mean, well, it depends, right? Like, if you don't like what you see in the mirror sometimes, sure. But also, I don't think all of the locals are in these inherently racist guys like the first one was, right? The first guy's a real piece of shit. And he has no idea he's a piece of shit. This was crazy. But I don't think that you can't group people up together, right? So that's why we're curious.
The way it betrayed us, so.
We learned where that banjo scene was shot and went to take a look.
Sure.
In 1972, it was a dirt road and wood shack.
Yep.
So you saw the video, dirt road, hillbilly playing the banjo and everything.
Yep.
This is it right now. Obviously a lot different. Now that being said though, this is still a remote and rugged area. We'll take a walk over here where there's some houses that kind of capture that. There's like a dozen dogs just came running off this property.
Oh yeah, so something you might not all, this might be this is the thing with Appalachias, is dogs are always kept outside. And they almost exclusively just like roam the territory, right? Dogs are part of the family, but they don't go inside. And they're more like working dogs in a way, but also strays and also not. It's a really, you see all the time. That's why a lot of hound dogs in the South end up in shelters, because they're not good at being dogs. They're not very good. Like Georgie, when we got him, he was clearly a dog that just wasn't a very good hunter, and they didn't want him. So that's also why he had they're like more like farm animals. Exactly. A pack of strays, not just pets. Yeah.
Property over there, and there's something going on. We're gonna go take a look. There's another one, dude. How many dogs do they have? Another. Oh my. Oh.
Yeah, here they go. It looks like these dogs are pretty well taken care of, though. So at least they're yard dog. Yeah, yard.
A house up, we met this girl.
What's up? Hey.
They look pretty well taken care of, though. You guys, they got collars, they got leashes. So these are 100% just outside dogs that are allowed to roam around, probably because they're in the middle of bump nowhere. And but they look taken care of. They look really well done. I mean, maybe they are allowed outside.
It's got
12.
12.
Yeah, we got more up at the house.
She told us that if we really wanted to understand Appalachia, we needed to go deeper. But she warned us, be careful.
Yeah, dude, if they're that racist and shitty this inland, yeah, maybe you should be careful, actually.
Moments before we had talked to her, her neighbor came down with a gun and had threatened to shoot all of her dogs.
There's some crazy people on this road, just letting y'all know.
Lady, you have more resolve than me. There is nothing more. Oh my God, I would.
Are there?
Don't trust him. He just threatened to shoot my dogs because his dogs ran after my dogs.
Oh, look at the baby.
Most people around here have guns?
Look at these.
He had one in his hand just a couple minutes ago.
The guy that came running down here yelling?
Yeah.
This is why you are always here. Be careful in Appalachia, because people are just it is unhinged out there, and it's because everyone has a gun.
I was yelling at him back because he threatened to shoot my dogs, which he's already shot one of my dogs. This one, he shot it with something, and it was right beside her heart.
He shot that little dog right there.
Yeah.
What? And
she's my baby, for sure. And we've had problems with him. He's stolen stuff from us before.
Sounds like, oh man. This is normal to you? This is dead ass. I've heard of shit like this. Thank you, Tier 1 much. Thank you.
My dad doesn't like him. My dad wants him off this mountain, but there's a tin out there.
What?
When the cops come up here, he'll go out there and stay for a couple days.
That is the most correct redneck thing. Oh my God. Or hillbilly thing. Like, he'll just, with the cops roll up, he just goes to hide. This is, yeah. It's actually insane. This is, if you think this is, and this is what's interesting, a lot of folks here are like, man, this is crazy. Which is why I actually am still showing this video, because like, some folks in the chat, or in general, just don't know that people live like this. Like, you hear that bit where it's like, who are these people who are like Trump fanatics, or who would threaten to shoot a dog? There's people like this exist. It's a real way of life. The farther you get from big cities, the farther you get from education, stability, other people, different ways of life, different cultures, different races. You become this not this person. This person seems very, very kind. But yeah, the farther you get in the middle of the country, the farther you get from these things, the more you kind of lose sight of like what is happening, right?
And there's guns up in there because I walked up there one time.
What's it like around here now?
Full of druggy people for sure. Yeah. Everyone that lives on this road is druggy people.
What kind of drugs?
Mainly fentanyl.
I was gonna say fentanyl. Yeah, fentanyl and meth. The Appalachians from this, it looks exactly the same. Yep, it's the same all the way down, baby. Not surprising. No.
I just died from fentanyl. Banner, come here.
What good babies, though. I'm glad that at least these puppies are being taken care of. Look at these little guys.
Good boy.
Idiot.
So we got back in the car and we started driving deeper into the mountains in search of the mythical hillbilly.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I'm saying from before. I firmly believe that not everyone in the Appalachians are a piece of shit. I mean, look at her, right? She's just a normal person that's like, hey, there are some weirdos around here. Be careful. And that's why I don't want to group up. Like, we should never group any groups of people, right? But like in this case, while we've seen proof of like racist pieces of shit from earlier, she's just like a normal person who's like, yep, I love my dogs. I love the country air. Unfortunately, I'm just full of it. It's 60-40, and that's more than most people would think. Honestly.
After a few hours of driving through the remote beauty of Georgian Appalachia, we spotted this man, Don, off a gravel road.
Don might be related to me. I don't like that. He looks like one of my cousins. Oh, no. Don may be related to me. Let's find out. Let's find out if he name drops.
We were in the middle of nowhere, deep in the
mountains. Same, dude.
If anyone was a hillbilly,
this man may be related to me.
He would be it.
We can all our food. We grow our food in our garden.
Sure.
My wife cans it. We're true blue-blooded Americans.
Okay.
What would happen if all the whites and all the blacks got along great all the time?
Okay. What would happen, sir?
What would it be?
You tell me. You tell me. That's a weird thing. Okay. Yeah, I want to know where he's going with that one.
Yeah, it's beautiful up here.
Where y'all out of Atlanta? A little turd.
How long you live around here?
35 years.
This got chat. This is ghoulish. This is not hyperbole. I have family that lives like this. This is like almost nostalgic in a weird way. Do you know when you see something you're like, hey, that's nostalgic, that's odd. Right now, hi, what are you? Hello.
When I come here, it was a dirt road.
Right.
I wanted to land. I was a trucker.
You need a place to store your trucks.
Well, that and work on this reason I got a big shop and everything. 5 I keep up.
What's your favorite?
That there's my baby, but the one I drive the best. You want to see my favorite?
Absolutely.
Come on in here.
Thank you.
And this is my little pride and joy right here. This is a 1941 military Cadillac.
Oh, wow.
Holy shit!
% rust free.
God damn!
Open the door and look in there.
Wow.
Was it like a Nazi car? I don't think it was more of a gangster car. I don't know if that, because it was a 1940 car, so I don't know if it's like that. But not the Yachtsmobile. Is it a Yachtsmobile? I thought it reminds me more of like gangsters. The silver on black has been ruined because of a certain party from the 40s. It's like a mob boss car. This reminded me of like a mob boss car. And it runs, dude.
2000, I say, or before this little before they paved the roads.
You have electricity out here?
40s had not Yahtzee. I'm not sure either way. I'm not sure how different are you. So like 40s gangster, I assume like moonshiner, dude. Yes, it's like a moonshiner. Yes.
Yeah.
But I got a generator too.
Okay.
We country folks survive.
Folk know.
Here's the thing. Also, we never really touched on his conversation about black and white people earlier, but I guess we're just gonna pan over that. I don't know what he was implying. I hope he was saying, I would love to see all people of all walks of life come together. I'm worried based on the Confederate flag bumper. That is not what he was implying. But I want to believe. I want to believe. I'd like to believe. You know?
That city folk don't know.
Well, nature. People in the city have no idea about this. This is nature. I mean, just like the Indians, this is all Cherokee land.
This guy is putting this is a roller coaster.
Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Like Utopia, I agree. Like this is a roller coaster. I don't know what this guy's gonna say next.
All this is Cherokee. You can dig up Cherokee stuff all over here. Arrows, everything. This was all Cherokee land at one time.
And you're going to say how that sucks, right? That's no longer the case, right? You're going to say how that sucks, right?
Until the whites took it.
Okay. I mean, hold on. You're right. And that's bad.
Yeah.
The whites did a very bad injustice. I mean, I'm a white.
Wait, what? Actually based? Wait, what? Hello? Wait, he's right.
Person, but the government did
If
a
he
very
were a
bad.
true blue country boy, he would be saying if blacks and white got along, they'd be able to take over the government or
That's true.
whatnot.
That's true. Very few people hate the government as much as country folk. Hold on, I want to play this back. Was my guy randomly based?
Until the whites took it.
Right.
Yeah.
He smiles here. I'm like, uh-oh.
The whites did a very bad injustice. I mean, I'm a white person, but the government did a very bad injustice to the Indian.
This is a roller coaster. This guy is like, I'm so confused because my man, he's right, but also he's driving around with the goddamn Confederate flag on his car. So like, I'm just confused, man. I'm so confused. He's keeping me on my toes.
We can our food. We can all our food. We grow our food in our garden.
Right.
My wife cans it.
Right.
She's no.
Well, he was talking about people, like he said specifically, and he was talking about black and white folks coming together, but he never finished that thought. And I'm genuinely curious. I actually want them to ask, what does the Confederate flag mean to him? Because I see Confederate flag, I'm already looking out for every shit. That's what I'm saying. I'm so confused.
Country girl from Franklin, North Carolina, 20 miles up the road. You know, and the mountain people are totally different. I know some people call them hillbillies, but they're not hillbillies.
Sure.
I mean, hillbillies live further away up in the woods, but don't get around nobody.
Right.
The mountain people, they know you. They do anything for you. I got great neighbors.
Right. Okay.
I mean, it ain't the almighty dollar.
Right.
It's being neighborly.
If it weren't for the Confederate flags, I think I'd be so on his team right now. If it weren't for the dude, I feel like he's right there. I feel like my man is on the precipice of greatness. If the Confederate flag, I swear to God, that is what's keeping me from being on his team right now.
You know what I mean? Neighborly.
Yeah.
We all try to help each other. We all try to look out.
We could turn him. Honestly, I think not even turn. This man seems empathetic, and he seems fairly knowledgeable. I don't even think it's a case of turn. I think it'd be dead ass like one conversation over barbecue and some beers, and he would take off his license plate. I'm dead serious. He seems fairly reasonable. The flag is anti-treason, right? But a lot of folks don't know that in the South and in the Appalachians. It could be looks like he doesn't want people to think he's different. You know, that could be true. That could be true as well.
For each other. You know,
I want him to finish his conversation from the beginning. I'm very curious what he was talking about.
We look out for the rich people over here.
So what's a hillbilly compared to a mountain person?
They usually just stay to their family.
That's true.
You know what I mean? They don't go in town much and stuff, you know. But, you know, I mean, they're good people.
Sure.
I know one who lived down the road.
Sure.
Before I even moved here when my sister lived there.
This guy seems cool. And for those of you who are like, and trust me, I understand. You guys are preaching to the choir. We all acknowledge that the Confederate flag is bad for every reason you think it is. But, and I want to reiterate this, and I'm not defending these people, I'm just telling you how it is. A lot of people in the South of the U.S. who are detached from cities or have a lower education literally don't understand what the Confederate flag is. They literally think the war was about states' rights. And they don't view the Confederacy as purveyors of slavery or continuing the oppression against people of color. They literally view it as the government took away our states' rights. I'm not kidding. They were taught by parents. Yeah, exactly. They were taught by from the parents and their parents' parents and their parents' parents. And again, I'm not defending that. I'm just saying, I'm giving you guys perspective. This guy, for example, might actually think it was literally just about states' rights. Like, he might not actually know. The Southern strategy was literally changed in textbooks. Yes, they changed textbooks in the Southern United States to call it the, and I quote, Northern War of Oppression. It was never called the Civil War in the South. It was the Northern War of Oppression. That is why you will see a lot of Confederate flags. So, yeah, it's the War of Northern Aggression. Yes. They still try to do that shit? Yep.
He used to get a jug of moonshine, and when he got in trouble with his wife, he'd get on the moonshine, a jug of moonshine, get on his mule, and a sleeping bag and his shotgun, and he'd go up in the hills.
That hillbilly might be related to me, actually.
Go in the hills for a week.
That's crazy.
Trouble. Me, I'm a history buff. I love history.
I'm getting worried. I'm getting worried about you.
One day we'll all be history.
Well, I got
not a good look when you have the flag hanging up.
question about history.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. Here's the roller coaster check.
On the front of your car here.
Oh, he's got him. Okay, good question. That's a good reporting. Good reporting. That's a good ass question. Here we go. We're about to find out here we go. Everyone buckle in. Seatbelts, everyone.
Uh-huh.
What does that mean? What does that mean to you? What's that?
Let's see if this is exactly what I'm willing to bet it's because of states' rights.
We're Southern heritage. This our heritage.
Not a good look.
It's not racism. You know, everybody says, "Oh, you see a rebel flag." That's racism. You want to see what I got on the back of it?
Absolutely.
Come on the back of it.
I told you guys. I told you that. I told you.
Just because we're rebels, I mean, you know, there's a
the Northern race of the South. I swear to God. I think it actually doesn't really matter north or south. I believe that the farther you are from cities, the more likely you are to have closed-minded views on the world and the people in it. Just because cities expose you to such culture and life and different walks of life and people that it's really hard to be a racist in a city when you go to a donut shop that was ran by a from Mexican family, then you go to an Italian place for dinner, which is ran by folks straight out of Italy, and then you get some pad thai or whatever. Like, it is, the America thrives because it is a melting pot. Well, it normally does. Right now we're in a hiccup, but hopefully that changes. Fingers crossed, never stop the fight. But America thrives because it's a melting pot. It is forcing cultures of the world to interact with one another and we are reminded that we are humans in the human condition. We are not defined by our religion, race, sex, creed, or nation. And the farther you are from that, the more likely you will be bottlenecked into this way of thinking, right? You will be bottlenecked into this very racist way of thinking. And I believe that the North and South, or wherever in the U.S., they have it doesn't matter. In the world, the farther you are away from cities, the more likely you will be like, you know what I mean? I don't think Don, I don't hate Don. I think he means well. I think Don means well, but as you can see, Don is a part of this, right? It's very similar, hard to recover topic. I appreciate you trying to educate people. Of course, like, I will gladly, I want to give perspective and educate folks as to why they think and why these things exist, right? For a trucker for a rural mountain, Mr. Don's pretty progressive. I would say, and I'm so very serious, Don here is just a weekend of beer, barbecue, and football away from being completely like, you know what, this flag actually does suck. And maybe I genuinely like he's so close to the finish line, right? And that's impressive considering where he's at. As you can see, whether you want them immigrants, you have to never interact with them and don't know what Fox News says about them. Yes, never forget, by the way, chat. Most media outlets are propaganda machines. Never forget that, okay?
Flag.
Like, and to reiterate, he views, like many folks view the Confederate flag, they view it incorrectly as heritage, as a symbol, and that was passed on from their parents and their parents and their parents and their parents and their parents. That is, yeah.
You know, having the rebel flag there, it's against the country. It's against the
No, it
US.
isn't.
They lost.
We're Americans too, but it's our heritage. You know, I was born in Chicago.
Okay, we're getting some lore.
So I'm basically a Yankee, okay? Right. I was born Yankee.
You got 6 weeks of Yankee. And then...
So I got 6 weeks of Yankee, and I was in Florida all my life.
Yeah.
Until 17 when I joined the military.
Sure.
You know, we serve our country, and just because someone has a rebel flag, that ain't racism.
Dude, he's right. He's right there, Chad. He's right at, like, a weekend is all I would need. A weekend is all I would need. You know what I mean? I really think he's right there.
I mean, I'd help anybody. I'd give you my whole shirt off my back if I need to. What would happen if all the whites...
Oh, here we go! We're back! Wait, we're back! Everyone lock in. This is the moment we're going to figure out if Dawn is racist. Here we go.
And all the blacks got along great all the time.
It'd be utopia. We would all unite against the billionaire class. What do you think, Don?
What would it be?
What do you think? I want to hear your thought.
It'd be harmony. Right? But see, a lot of people push it back and forth. And I say the politicians do that.
He's right! Like he's right! Like he's based! Dude, I'm losing it! I'm losing it! Like he's 100% right! Like he's right! He's right, but he doesn't have an answer. I'm so confused. Dude, he's almost there. He knows what's going on, but he has problems saying it. I don't know if he has problems. I don't know. I'm just like, he's dead to the edge. He's like almost there. He's not even Southern. Here's where I'm at with that. That's why I'm a little confused. My only real gripe here, with him as a person is he is from Chicago and then Florida. I don't know where he adopted the Confederate flag. So that's where I'm a little confused. Like, I don't know when or where he adopted the Confederate flag as a part of his heritage. Maybe where he, like, it's Florida for sure. Yet actually, no, that's actually super. No, you're actually really right. No, you guys actually, it's Florida. It's Florida. It's who I kid. I actually forgot I was talking about. It's Florida. You're right.
What's wrong with this country is they turn their face on God. And if you turn your face on God, he'll turn your face on you.
Okay, well, it's his choice of religion. That's understandable. Like, listen, let him have his. There it is. No, I've told you guys before. We should not disparage someone for their religious beliefs. If this man believes in the Christian God, which I assume is the Christian God, Jesus Christ, Lord and Savior, again, assuming, that's fine. If that's what he wants to believe, it does have negative circumstances depending on where you are in stuff like that, especially in American Christianity is very often used as a tool to manipulate people. And that's been the case since, like, what, the old Catholic Church with, like, the old popes. So, you think it's Baptist? I mean, possible, right? But what I'm saying is, like, we should never, like, be like, oh, God, Christians or, like, no. Let people worship who they want to worship. I'm curious. I'm curious that believes it's organized religions are the problem. Exactly.
I don't know you from Adam's house, cat. I don't even know your name, but I'm talking to you.
Yeah.
hard topics here. I don't think they're hard topics per se. This country should not be fundamentally on one religion. Got it right. That's another issue. I believe this is another issue that you see a lot of folks from regions like this. They will say the country needs God, right? And when they say that, they mean Christianity God. But another big thing that America is again, we're a melting pot. We are a collaboration of people. We should celebrate all gods of all denominations, in that we should separate church and state. Full stop. Church and state should never be one and the same. I remember the Christian going to the church every day Sunday. Even my grandparents did something in the church when they got older. They stopped believing in the words of my grandma. These people are Christians. You will never find more ungodly people than in a church. It is truly an interesting dichotomy. The most wonderful people I've ever met who are heavily religious and had their faith never went to church because they realize the institution corrupts. You need God, not your God, but mine. That's the issue. So yeah, that's the issue here.
Because you know why? Because I'm American and I believe in God.
Sure.
You say you got a whole garden up here that you grow everything in?
This guy's a roller coaster, chat. Don is a roller coaster. The reason religion to be some morals is justify the well-being of life, most well-being of white people. Yeah. It's about holding your hand and not grabbing someone else hand of sense. This is why I don't go to the church. I can't get my family to see it. The faith is, and here's my interpretation. And again, I cannot speak for all religions. I am speaking on behalf of, I grew up in a Lutheran orthodoxy. This is my pastor, and my pastor was extremely liberal in this sense, right? Faith and worship does not have to take place at a church. It can take place literally anywhere. You could pray in your head a small prayer before going on a plane or whatever, right? Like faith and worship do not have to happen in a church. The church is there to spread the goodwill and create community, but it is not there to exploit, to corrupt, to twist the minds, or even this is my pastor is very conservative, or not sorry, very liberal in this. The Church of God is not even there to pivot the thinking of other religions. My pastor back in the day was very much like, people have the different religions, they had it in faith, and God will always be there to take people in. Because he's a loving God was the idea, right? And if you're gonna like, I like that version of Christianity, right? Like, but again, modern Christianity, especially like evangelical, like TV ones, that's where it gets like TV Christians or like those mega churches. Like, come on. My mother from Mexico is deeply religious. I grew up a Roman Catholic. She keeps her faith outside of church. God is all around us. She puts it doesn't need it or it. Exactly. God's all around you. What time to join the stream? Hi. The church's original purpose is to be social services to the needy. Since I've seen both sides, I think churches can be in churches of all denominations. You have temples, you have mosques, church, and they are a great place for community to come together under one roof, under one cause, and you strengthen the community, right? But I've also seen, mega churches, and those are just cults. Simply a cult.
You want to
hell? I've avoided that place. Like, yeah.
Shit, yeah. Let me go bug me.
Thank you, Don.
Chickens in. So we have our chickens. This is my worm bed for fishing.
Yep.
We grow our own worms. This is all our garden area.
Sure. Telephone poles?
I'll put them all together, put them in the ground. They're in the ground 4 feet.
Okay.
How many dogs you got?
6.
Yeah, this is back to Dawn.
So
yep.
What are you growing here?
We grow everything. The raspberries. Look at these raspberries. These are wild raspberries out of the mountains. My wife and I went all around the mountains picking them out wild.
Okay.
And they get as big as your finger.
Dawn is almost there.
The Institute corrupts because it gives preachers power, and power corrupts absolutely.
True.
Look at Kenneth Copeland.
Not how
His
that is.
eyes are the eyes of a predator, not of a
I'm not
man.
sure who that is, but absolute power corrupts absolutely, yes. Money is a gross thing, man. Money's a gross thing. That's why you gotta if you have an ambition for money and wealth, you should always have a noble goal in mind to use that money and wealth for. Like if I ever become Tyler Ninja One, I'm the next big streamer. I'm making tens of thousands a week. I'm base. I'm full of money. Dude, that's gonna go to my savings for like a future house or a future RV, and then the dog shelter, dude. I'm gonna be building a goddamn shelter myself or a place. I want to build like a small. I would buy a house, right? And then I'd build another smaller house in the back. And that's where I'd keep the foster dogs. I would foster a couple dogs a week. They would go in the house. They'd be fed really good food, fatten them up so that way I can take pictures for future people that come by. Like, I want to see dogs. Boom. They have their beautiful AC/heated mini house in the back. I'm also going to have them attached to the fence so they can run out and be free when they're not outside. I get them plenty of love, introduce them to other dogs, kind of keep them like moving. And I would be trying to foster out dogs on the goddamn daily, dude. Oh my God. Not to mention, obviously, weekly donations to the goddamn local, like, animal shelter, SPCA, whatever. Love. Oh my God. Chad, the point is, if I had money, if I had money, you wouldn't know, but there would be signs. And the signs are, I'm be posting every week about some cool dogs that I'm helping out. The business still made become a guided place for a lot of family and friends. Become a local. I love that. That's lovely. Lovely.
Oh, we grow potatoes, tomatoes, carrots. You just pull carrots out, made a homemade potato soup the other day.
Woo!
We till the garden and everything. Yep. We use chicken fertilizer, chicken poop, put it in the garden.
Yep.
There's worms in there 6 inches long, buddy.
Ooh, an actual worm bed. Okay.
They're like snakes, night crawlers and stuff. Look at that potato growing. That's a potato we threw in there growing.
What the?
No, that's cabbage. That's cabbage.
Yep.
This is a Harley shed.
Harley.
This is my Harley shed. This is what my Harley says. Tons of fishing poles, anything.
The country music.
You got everything you need.
You got too much. It's that cool.
I love the dogs barking in the background. It's so true. Fiddle, how are you?
100 degrees.
I mean, it's like crisp.
Yeah, look at look how clear the water. 478 feet deep.
Oh, he's got a well. I mean, he does have everything. This is a really nice homestead.
Never find no better water. My wife lived up here all her life. She said never seen no better water. My father was born in 1903. I was born in 1959.
So that right now I'd make you about 60 odd something, going on 70. Okay.
He was 56 years old, and I asked him when he was 80 years old. I asked him. I said, Dad, I says, you was born in 103.
Yep.
I said, you seen from horse and buggy, the automobile, the planes, the rockets.
Yep.
I said, what do you think? He says, son, he said, I was a kid yesterday. You flip your fingers, that's how fast your life goes by.
True.
I'm gonna ask both of you what the answer of this is. What is the smallest thing in the world that makes the biggest difference?
Dude, I can't tell if he's base. This guy is like
the smallest thing in the whole. It don't matter, whatever you think.
Love? Yeah, kindness, love.
The smallest thing. You tell me what you think.
I think a kind gesture, like just as simple as, do you need help with hope, empathy? Empathy, it's good.
Thing in the world makes the biggest difference.
A handshake.
What about you?
I was thinking an air molecule keeps us alive.
No, sir. Attitude.
Okay.
Your attitude is I mean, my father was 80 years old. He died at 81.
Redneck different.
Just, we're down to earth, but we stand our ground.
Okay. No, interesting. Interesting dawn wisdom.
You consider yourself a redneck?
Yes, sir. I'm a redneck. I tell you, I got a redneck too, buddy.
Okay. There you go. True.
I'm a redneck, and
By the way, the term redneck was stemmed from people working in the farms up in the hills. They didn't have the luxury of being in the city with like, working on like AC or like cooled environments. They were always like tilling the fields or working with their hands, and their necks would get burned and become red. And they associated rednecks with like country folk. So, thanks for the fall. How you doing? Yeah, you got, it's interesting. You have a helpful, nurturing attitude, a helpful attitude. I mean, it's not wrong. Good attitude. It's not
like the old song, country people survive. We got a 4-wheel drive and a shotgun. You can't run us out. You can't stomp us out.
That's true.
You ain't gonna stomp us out. We're We're true blue-blooded Americans.
He's like, man, and potentially rednecks guard miners who are working for us. Like, true. You haven't seen him already? Dirt Rooster Bees, the same vibe and removals. Great watching. This is some good shit. He's like, yeah, he's 99% there, dude.
Born and raised here.
Don had seen the mountains change. When he arrived there was no one else. Now, the house across the road from him is worth millions of dollars.
Damn.
Similar developments are cropping up elsewhere, and the city is encroaching.
Yes.
But, you know, the rich people moving in.
Yes.
You know, everybody from the cities are moving up here.
Yeah.
If you look around, you'll see where they're putting houses all over the mountains.
Yeah.
Is it changing it out here for you?
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah. Our taxes went way up because of the mansions and everything. They done sold that place 2. They just sold it 2 or 3 months ago. Over $8 million.
Man, it's hard to not have empathy for. That's another thing, man. Your taxes going up because, you know, these goddamn mega millionaires just building houses wherever they want, dude. I will say, there's nothing more radicalizing than the ultra rich being shitty. I think that all racism can be cured if you look at a picture of Elon Musk. The world can stop their racism for a month if it meant shitting on Elon Musk. The worst part is that even living there, I guarantee that's a fake shot. Yep. Turns out because someone thought they can make money off the higher income people. Also possibly true.
Yes, sir, right there. 8 million.
The Appalachia Don knows and loves is changing.
Yeah.
Taking us up to a river.
Sure.
He said, you're not going to believe this river. So he wants to show us that. We're following, it's a couple miles to get there.
Sure. Oh, look at this. The dogs.
This is where we come fishing. This is all national forest, all of it.
Beautiful.
This is unreal, ain't it? Look at this.
This is beautiful. I could live out here, dude. Oh my god.
Look how clear your water is.
Oh,
drink this water. This rock comes off the rock. This is all full fish. But I mean, just to look at all this. I mean, look how clear that water is.
Gorgeous. That's simply gorgeous. Man, I love nature so much. I love that there, dude. If I had internet access, like really good internet access, which is not impossible right now, so I can keep streaming, I would do fishing streams like every morning, dude. Oh my god.
That's the reason there's no they won't let no industry in here, thank God.
Yes, thank God.
They don't want that water polluted like it is in Atlanta. No chemicals. What do you see here that you don't see all over the place? Trash.
True.
Yeah. You see them signs? There's signs all over the road. $1,000 fine.
That I like. Sid, how are you? I like that. Listen, if I ever see somebody, dude, it happened once in my life, and it was in Texas, San Antonio, and somebody rolled their window down and threw a whole bag of trash from like McDonald's, something like that, out of the car, and it infuriated me to a level of like I can't even describe to you. That shit, I think like, ugh.
You throw shit out and you get caught, and one of these people turn you in, you got a $1,000 ticket.
Yeah,
I would turn you in. I'm sorry, but get that litter. If I had this in my backyard, get that litter out of here. Let's say drop this. We're on the highway, so
it's so natural.
Clean.
Beautiful.
This is persimmon community I live in, and us, the people, keep it clean. We actually have days that everybody gets out and picks trash up.
Dude, that's the community I'm talking about, bro. Everyone comes out and picks trash up. That's great.
Don told us he may not be around to see what happens next. After hours of talking, he casually mentioned that he had cancer and wasn't sure how long he'll live.
God damn! The roller coaster doesn't stop!
65 years old and 385, you know. I'm still moving, brother. I'm gonna move. They're gonna have to cut my fingers off to get me, brother. I'm gonna hold on. You ever gonna forget this place?
Never.
I never will.
Never. Can't thank you enough, Don.
Oh, yeah.
Really.
He was at peace with it, he said, because he'll give his land, his little piece of heaven, to his son and be laid to rest in the woods.
That's actually making me tear up a little bit. I'll be real with you guys. Sorry.
I'm passing everything down to my sibling. I mean, not my siblings, but my son. You know, and I told him, I said, if you ever sell a piece of land like this, you would never find it again.
Whether alive or dead, Don said, he will be in the mountains. Subscribe for the—
God damn, dude, that got me tearing up a little bit. Oh man. Oh, I'm tearing up a little bit, man. Oh. Dangerous thing you follow. God damn, dude. I just, and this is like, they're just people, man. And I do hope, I sincerely hope, like, people like Don give me hope, man, because, like, he's almost there. You know? He's genuinely, like, almost there. Actually, interesting and insight without the high horrors, but also showing the problematic side. Yeah, this was a great video. You saw the empathy of, like, the people that live out there, right? Like, you saw that we know the kind of people who live out in the mountains. We know these people. We saw the good and we saw the bad. We saw the unwell and we saw the culture. There are problems, like, well, I mean, we've explained why, but man, like, Don's like right there. Hope this man is living a very comfortable life, and I hope his son doesn't squander what he's going to be good someday. I hope, I'll be frank, I thought the video would be more controversial. I don't think, oh, you mean like they're trying to, like, you know, actually, like, you thought they'd be more like, you know, nothing really, like, that they'd be like, there's nothing really wrong per se. No, this was a very, like, good look because it's more racist. Yeah, well, I think they showed the two sides of racism. The one from the guy at the beginning, which is, like, just clearly racist, just clearly, like, a bad person. And then they showed the ignorance that comes with the racism that comes with ignorance, where Don is, like, right there. My man he understands that, you know, it is an evil thing, but he still has some inherently racist ties that he doesn't quite understand himself that are problematic, right? Let's say counter people in Native Americans that are still in that area, or like people that might be in the mountains. I'm curious to see that. I'd love to see that side. It's a great video that demonstrates that we have more common than differences. Building communities will require working with people like that and maybe have problematic views, but being flat out bad people joining together. I believe that joining together as people, I think that racism is simply a disgusting, irrelevant thing that can be offset by people coming together, cultures coming together, the world coming together, blending cultures into one blend of, it doesn't matter, we're in the human condition together. And Don's proof of that. Don lives in the middle of nowhere, and even he's like, yeah, nah, dude, that racism is cringe. Anyways, here's my Confederate flag. It's like, Don, you're almost there!